Every NHL fan base thinks they've got it tough. Spoiler, you all suck in your own special way. Some are cursed, some are delusional. Most are just loud and wrong. So grab your jersey, brace for impact, because we're about to roast all 32 of you. No loyalty, no mercy, just pain. Being a Leafs fan isn't about hope, it's about endurance. Every October, you convince yourself this is the year. New season, new jersey, new excuses. By April, you're emotionally bankrupt, financially ruined, and Googling how to legally disown a team. You treat round one like Everest, and still fall off the mountain every time. You chant, "We want Florida," then cry when Florida treats you like a speed bump. One bad shift? Trade Marner. One good game? Plan the parade. You don't just overreact. You lead the league in post-game overanalysis. You romanticize 1967 like it's sacred scripture, but haven't seen a cup since your dad was in diapers. And yet, you come back, every year, like a hockey-loving goldfish. Because Leafs fans don't quit. They suffer. Loudly. Expensively. And with just enough hope to make it hurt. Welcome to the world's most devoted emotional support group. Habs fans live in 1977 and act like it's 2025's problem. You've got 24 cups and mention it every 5 minutes, even though 22 of them happened before most of your fan base had teeth. You boo your own power play. You boo your own goalie. Hell, you'd boo Guy Lafleur's ghost if he missed a back check. You treat every rookie like the second coming of Beliveau. Until he goes -2, then it's trade him. He's soft. He doesn't get it. Your rebuild has no direction, but your superiority complex has GPS. You hate Toronto more than you love winning. And when you're not watching your team lose 3-1 to Columbus, you're firing off 17 tweet threads and angry French about why the rebuild's failing. You're not fans. You're hockey's most self-righteous history teachers. But hey, at least you've got the banners, because Lord knows you're not getting another one anytime soon. Sens fans are the hockey version of conspiracy theorists. Every year it's the same. The core is elite. The rebuild is over. We're ready to take the next step. Spoiler, the only step you're taking is back to the lottery. You talk like you're a juggernaut. You play like you're in a witness protection program. Your biggest win in the last decade was not relocating. Your biggest rival is a city that doesn't even notice you exist. You've got elite young talent, sure, but so does everyone, and they actually win games with it. You chirp Leaf fans like you're not still waiting for your first real playoff run since dial-up internet. Every coach is the guy. Every GM is turning the corner. And every season ends the same. A hot streak in March, a meaningless game in April, and a fresh pile of excuses in May. The rebuild isn't over. It never started properly. Sabres fans are hockey's most loyal hostages. You've been stuck in a rebuild so long, you developed emotional frostbite and started calling it progress. Every fall, it's, "This is the year we break through." By January, you're Googling draft rankings like they're escape plans. You've watched more retools than playoff games. Your loyalty isn't inspiring. It's concerning. You've had elite picks, elite prospects, elite promise, and nothing to show for it but empty seats and emotional scarring. You still talk about Ryan Miller like he's coming back. You still whisper Eichel like it's a slur. Your arena gets louder for opponents than your own goals, and your attendance spikes only when Leaf fans invade. You're not building a contender. You're building a museum for mismanaged potential. But you keep coming back, because deep down, Sabres fans don't want a Stanley Cup. You want hope. Just enough to survive the next 82-game hostage situation. Red Wings fans talk like they're still printing playoff tickets, even though they've been rebuilding longer than the lifespan of a goldfish. You cling to the Yzer plan like it's a divine prophecy. Every year it's, "We're close." Close to what? Another 8th place finish? You act like being Original Six gives you diplomatic immunity. It doesn't. You lost to the Coyotes. Twice. In regulation. You parade around your history like it plays defense. We get it. You had Lidstrom, Zetterberg, Datsuk. Now you have a young talent and a calendar full of moral victories. You pretend Steve Yzerman is infallible, but your rebuild has the same trajectory as a flat tire. The fans still show up, but let's be honest. You're there to relive the past, not watch the present. You're not Hockeytown anymore. You're a retirement home with cup banners on the wall, and nobody's moving back in until someone starts winning again. Panthers fans are like Bigfoot sightings, occasionally real, but mostly blurry and gone by the second period. You made a Stanley Cup final, and half of your own arena still showed up in enemy jerseys. You don't have home ice advantage. You have a slightly warmer neutral site. You chant, "We want the cup!" in June. Then forget the team exists by November. You didn't earn this success. You stumbled into it between beach volleyball and Costco runs. Your fan base is just transplanted Leaf fans in cargo shorts and confused tourists who thought they were at a monster truck rally. You boo because the AC is too cold. You cheer when you catch a t-shirt. You miss half the game waiting in line for a mojito. Yeah, you're good now, but no matter how many banners you hang, you'll always be the team that won the cup in a half-empty rink where nobody noticed. Lightning fans discovered hockey in 2004, forgot it existed for a decade, then reappeared in designer jerseys screaming Dynasty! You've got 2 cups in the salary cap era, and act like you've personally carried Vasilevsky through double overtime. You blame the refs, the schedule, the altitude, everything but the fact your bottom 6 is dust and your cap gymnastics belong in Cirque du Soleil. You think MLA Arena is a fortress. It's a cruise ship with air conditioning. Your bandwagon is so full it needs seatbelts. Half your fan base can't name a single player from before 2015. The other half thinks Stamkos invented the sport. You flex like your original 6, but your first team store probably sold flip-flops and sunscreen. You're loud, arrogant, and allergic to humility. But hey, at least you finally care. Just in time for your cup window to start slamming shots. Bruins fans could go 82-0 and still find something to complain about. You're not happy unless you're furious. You act like you're blue-collar underdogs, while your team has the win percentage of a Bond villain. You've had generational players, record-setting seasons, President trophies, and you still walk around like you're cursed. You treat Marchand like a misunderstood genius. You treat any loss like a personal insult from the hockey gods. 2023? Historic regular season. Immediate playoff faceplant. And you're still somehow talking about destiny. You hate everyone. Toronto, Montreal, your own power play, your goalie's glove hand, and the guy in front of you who dared to sit down during a penalty kill. Your hockey DNA is equal parts glory, rage, and Dunkin' iced coffee. You don't rebuild, you reload, and then demand a refund when it's not 2011 again. Bruins fans don't suffer quietly. They suffer loudly, violently, and with an accent. Rangers fans walk into every season like they're starring in a Netflix drama called Destiny on Ice. You treat MSG like it's sacred ground. Even when you're getting bounced by a wildcard team with 13 fans and a broken Zamboni, you spend every trade deadline like you're at an auction house. Overpay, overhype, underperform. Every free agent wants to play for you, until they realize half your fanbase turns toxic the second a pass misses tape. You chant, Potvin sucks, like that's still relevant. You retired in 1988. You talk like 1994 was yesterday. It was 31 years ago. The cup photos and 4-3 resolution. You treat every loss like it's a federal scandal. You treat every win like a birthright. You're not fans. You're Hockey Wall Street. Loud, rich, delusional, and somehow shocked when the crash hits in round 2. Devils fans live on a spreadsheet and Twitter threads. You worship Corsi like it's gospel, and still can't figure out why your team gives up 5 a night. You scream, "We're young and fast!" after every October win, then go full existential crisis by December when the defense collapses like wet cardboard. You treat every loss like it's a glitch in the Matrix. No, it's not bad luck. It's your blue line getting walked again. You talk like a dynasty. You act like a startup with mood swings. You've got star talent, high expectations, and absolutely zero patience. Every goalie you touch turns to soup within 6 months. You're not fans. You're Reddit mods with rage issues and Jack Hughes jerseys. But hey, at least a rebuild worked. Now all you need is consistency, a goaltender, and a city that remembers you exist. Islanders fans treat 4 cups from the early 80s like they happened last week. You're the only fan base that brags about a dynasty you weren't alive for, and then boo your team for not playing like it's 1983. You treat every 2-1 win like a war medal. You don't want excitement. You want block shots and 5 defensive men named Ryan. You moved into a beautiful new arena and brought all the bitterness with you. The bathrooms are better, the vibes are not. You hate the Rangers more than you love scoring goals. You chirp Devils fans like you're not one losing streak away from irrelevance. You act like Lou Lamoriello is still a genius. He's just building the world's slowest rec league team at NHL prices. You're not casual fans. You're angry dads and throwback jerseys, screaming about effort during a Tuesday night loss to Columbus. Flyers fans don't cheer. They growl. You were raised on Broad Street bullies, bedtime stories, and now treat grit like it's a personality trait. You want toughness, accountability, and someone to bleed every night, even if it means losing 4-1 with honor. Your rebuilds last 18 months. Then it's back to retool mode with 37 third-line wingers and a goalie you swear is the answer. You scream, bring back the culture! The culture was bench-clearing brawls and cup wins from when disco was still alive. You're not happy unless someone's getting fired. You boo prospects. You boo the anthem. You'd boo Gritty if he blew a tire. You romanticize guys like Zach Ronaldo. and act like finesse hockey is a personal insult. You're not here for fun. You're here for chaos, body checks, and the faint hope that someday, maybe, the Flyers will suck a little less. Penguins fans still think it's 2017. You talk like you're contenders. Your roster plays like it's auditioning for an AARP membership. You worship Crosby like he's royalty in skates. Which is fair, but let's not pretend this isn't turning into the NHL version of The Last Dance. Every season is one more run, and every April ends with you blaming goaltending, defense, the schedule, the ice temperature. Everything except the fact your core is aging like milk. You pretend your bottom six matters. It doesn't. You still boo the Flyers out of habit, and you swear Letang is fine, even as he pulls a hamstring tying his skates. You used to be the gold standard. Now you're the guy at the party yelling, "You remember when we were good?" You're not rebuilding. You're just refusing to admit it's over. And deep down, you know it. Caps fans are still drunk off 2018. And honestly, respect. But it's been long enough. Put the beer down and look around. Backstrom's gone. The banners are fading. And now that Ovi's shattered Gretzky's record, there's nothing left to distract from the full-blown collapse. You still believe Tom Wilson is just passionate. You still pretend your roster isn't being held together with duct tape and long-term memories. Every offseason is the same. One more ride. New coach, same aging core, no youth movement, no direction, just nostalgia and sad power plays from Ovi's favorite spot. You're not rebuilding, you're stalling, hoping no one notices how steep the fall's been since the Cup. Caps fans, loyal, loud, and living in denial. You got your fairy tale. Now you're stuck watching the sequel where everyone's older, slower, and the magic's completely gone. Hurricanes fans treat expected goals like gospel, and any loss as a failure of the universe to respect their spreadsheet supremacy. You brag about puck possession like it's a championship stat, then get steamrolled by a team with half the analytics and twice the finish. You call yourself the bunch of jerks like it's still 2019. It's not cute anymore. It's cosplay for a team that can't win the big one. Your playoff exits are surgical, dominate every stat, look incredible on paper, then lose in 5 to a wildcard team with 3 actual forwards. You don't rebuild, you just reload the system. Then forget that scoring goals still matters. You chirp fan bases with actual banners. Then start the same Cup campaign next October with the same roster and the same excuses. You're not jerks. You're just exhausting. Blue Jackets fans are the NHL equivalent of asking, wait, they're still in the league? Your biggest moment was a 4-game upset in 2019. Since then, pure witness protection. You show up, you cheer, you believe. But deep down you know it's all ending by December. You call it a rebuild, the rest of us call it a rerun. New coach, new hope, same lottery odds. You finally land a big free agent, and somehow make it worse. You draft top talent, then throw them into a blender of coaching changes and chaos. Your fan base is loyal, passionate, and constantly punished. You never made a conference final. Your rivals don't hate you. They forget you. You're not suffering, you're just absent. And in a league built on extremes, Columbus isn't loud enough to be mocked, or good enough to be remembered. Blackhawks fans treat the 2010s like a golden age, and act like the last 5 years were just a bad dream. You brag about 3 cups, but ignore the decade of rot that followed. You got Bedard and immediately hit the reset button on your morality. You chant 1 goal like it still means something. It doesn't. You've been outscored 1,000-3 since 2020. You act like you're rebuilding. You're really just tanking with a spotlight. Half your fan base still think Kane and Taves are suiting up. The other half thinks a rookie can fix 15 years of karma and cap mismanagement. You went from dynasty to disaster faster than anyone in NHL history, and still walk around like you deserve a statue for it. You're not just rebuilding, you're erasing, and everyone outside of Chicago remembers what you're trying to forget. Avs fans act like 2022 was a personality trait. You win 1 cup, and suddenly you're the hockey god's chosen children. You treat every regular season like a national emergency. You treat every win like a divine prophecy. You've got elite talent, speed, and skill. And yet your second-round exits are starting to pile up like parking tickets in downtown Denver. You worship McKinnon like he's forged from lightning. You pretend the team didn't immediately fall apart once Nazem Kadri left town. Your injuries are always unfair. Your depth is always underrated. And when you lose, it's the refs. It's the schedule. It's the altitude. You're not a dynasty. You're a warning. What happens when cup swagger turns into cup hangover? The gear is fresh. The roster's stacked. But that banner glow fades fast when you're golfing in May. Stars fans love to play the no one respects us card, as if a 52-win season and primetime coverage still screams underdog energy. You've got a deep team, elite talent, and zero humility. You talk like champions. You finish like runners-up. You act like everyone's ignoring you. They're not. They've just seen the script before. Start strong. playoff push, dramatic exit. You flex Jason Robertson like he's a secret weapon, then go completely silent when he disappears in the third round. You talk about Joe Pavelski like he's still leading the room from beyond the grave, and Jamie Benn like he hasn't been dragging his knuckles since 2016. The fan base is loyal, rowdy, and full of "we deserved better" tweets. But at some point, the narrative needs to shift from underrated to unfinished. You're not underdogs, you're just allergic to closing the deal. Wild fans treat hockey like religion, but worship a team that never makes it past a sermon. Every year starts with quiet confidence and ends with, "next year will be different." It won't. You talk about culture, grit, and heart like they show up on the score sheet. Spoiler, they don't. You've got Kirill Kaprizov, a defensive structure, and not much else. The moment playoffs hit, your offense enters witness protection. You're not rebuilding. You're not contending. You exist in the NHL's soggy middle, forever a first-round footnote. You act like no one respects you. No one does, because you haven't earned it. You're not cursed. You're consistent at being completely forgettable. Minnesota, the place where hockey dreams are born, and then die in 6 games. Jets fans treat every home game like Game 7 of the Cup Final, and every player like they're one contract negotiation away from escaping. You've got one of the loudest barns in the league, and one of the most fragile relationships with your own roster. Every season begins with hope and ends in heartbreak, followed by a press conference where somebody politely demands a trade. You blame the media, the coach, the air traffic control, anything but the fact your team melts under pressure. You act like you're contenders. You're wildcard warriors with abandonment issues. The talent's there. The loyalty's unmatched, but so is the paranoia. You're the only fan base that loves its team and simultaneously expects it to ghost you every July. Winnipeg, where the fan base is loud, proud, and constantly bracing for impact. Preds fans act like every game is a country concert with a scoreboard. You don't go to win, you go to scream, drink, and yell, "You suck!" at the goalie who just shut you out. You peaked in 2017 and have been riding that catfish wave ever since. Every season is a sneaky contender energy that ends in wildcard mediocrity. You hang banners for President's trophies and Western Conference participation. You've got more t-shirt cannons and scoring depth. Every new coach is the culture reset we need. Every trade deadline, you sell half the roster and call it a retool. You treat physical play like a moral victory and act like gritty 2-1 losses mean progress. You're not rebuilding, you're refurbishing with duct tape and hope. Nashville, the league's rowdiest house band, still playing the same sad song with a new chorus every April. Blues fans waited 52 years for a Stanley Cup and now act like they've been a dynasty since '67. You won in 2019, sang Gloria till your lungs collapsed, and then decided that was enough effort for the next decade. You cling to that cup like it's still warm, but your roster's aging, your rebuild stalling, and Jordan Binnington is now your on-ice Fight Club representative. You act like you're still contenders, but your defense is softer than elevator music, and your core looks like it's running on fumes and vibes. Every offseason is the same. No need to rebuild, we've got heart. Cool. Heart doesn't clear the crease or kill penalties. You're not tanking, you're not contending. You're just stuck, mid-pack, cap-strapped, and in denial. Blues fans, loyal, proud, and dangerously nostalgic, just like your front office. Utah fans didn't inherit a team. You inherited a relocation project with emotional baggage and 0 trophies. You cheer like this is a fresh start, but deep down, you know you're just Arizona on a ski pass. You went from college rinks and bankruptcy hearings to altitude and awkward rebranding tweets. You talk about building something special, but no one knows what it is, who's still on the roster, or what the team is even called. You're not tanking. You're not contending. You're just hoping the NHL doesn't forget where it left you. The jerseys are new, the dysfunction is not. And until further notice, your legacy is a moving truck and a draft pick. Utah fans, hopeful, confused, and already way too emotionally invested. At least now, when no one shows up, you can blame the elevation. Vegas fans got a cup before they got a personality. You were born in 2017, and by 2018 acted like you suffered through generations of heartbreak. You didn't earn it, you drafted it, and then traded half of it for shiny new toys. You love every player, until they cost more than $6 million. Then it's, thanks for your service, enjoy Saskatchewan. You weaponize LTIR like it's a cheat code. You don't rebuild, you exploit loopholes and call it roster management. You treat loyalty like it's optional. Fleury, dumped. Pacioretty, ghosted. Smith, deleted like a bad bet slip. And the fan base? Half tourist, half casino workers. All screaming like they've been through 4 lockouts and 2 cup droughts. You're not just confident, you're spoiled. Vegas didn't climb the mountain. They took the escalator, sprayed champagne on top, and told everyone else to try harder. Oilers fans live in a constant state of emotional whiplash. One minute you're Cup favorites. The next, you're down 3-0 to the Ducks in November. You worship McDavid like a hockey god. And fair enough, he's not the problem. It's everything else. Your solution to every loss? Get McDavid more help. You've said that for 9 years. At some point, it's not the help. It's the system built by raccoons in suits. Your goalies fluctuate between pretty solid and human fire drills. Your defense has more holes than Rogers Place popcorn bags. And your fans? Loud, loyal, and one power play slump away from full revolt. You chirp Flames fans like you're not a soft blue line collapse away from golfing in May. Oilers fandom isn't about balance. It's either parade planning or existential dread, with no in between, and definitely no defense. Flames fans hate the Oilers more than they love their own team, and that's saying something, because you really hate the Oilers. Every season is a new chapter in the same sad book. We've got the pieces. Spoiler, you don't. You never do. Your stars leave. Your rebuilds stall. Your best moments are usually draft picks, and even those come with conditions. You went from Kachuk to Gaudreau to maybe Huberdeau will bounce back. He didn't. He won't. You fired the coach. You fired the GM. Next up, burning sage in the Saddle Dome and blaming the skyline. You don't rebuild. You retread, dragging out washed-up talent and calling it a culture reset. You live for the Battle of Alberta, even though it's just two dysfunctional cousins fighting in the garage. Flames fans, angry, exhausted, and one late season win streak away from believing again, which is exactly how they get you. Canucks fans are the NHL's most unstable relationship. You go from Cup contenders to burn it all down in the span of a Tuesday night back-to-back. You're rebuilt to last half a season. Your meltdowns to last forever. You riot when you lose. You riot when you win. You boo your team, chirp your GM, and trade your favorite player on Twitter daily. You've had elite talent. You've had elite drama. And somewhere in between, you lost the plot and the playoff race. You talk like you're cursed. You're not cursed, just poorly managed and deeply impatient. You treat every hot streak like destiny and every losing streak like betrayal. Vancouver fandom isn't a fan base. It's a therapy group with jerseys. And yet, every year you're back, loud, online, and slightly more unhinged. Because in Canucks Nation, hope is a drug, and you're way past a recommended dosage. Kings fans act like they're still running the league, but your core is aging faster than a VHS tape in the sun. You've got a farm system full of talent, and yet somehow still roll out a lineup that screams 2014 nostalgia tour. You talk about playoff experience like it scores goals. It doesn't. Especially not when your offense vanishes in crunch time. You're either winning 2-1 in overtime or losing 6-0 with a blank stare. There is no in between, just long shifts, big contracts, and early tea times. You flex Kopitar like he's ageless, Doughty like he's still elite, and pretend Quentin Byfield is about to break out for the 4th straight year. You're not a contender, you're a rerun, and the fan base, half asleep until April, then shocked when the credits roll in round 1. Ducks fans are stuck in permanent beta mode. You've got prospects, promise, and absolutely nothing else. You talk about the future like it's a guaranteed cup parade. But the present? It's a nonstop horror reel of blown leads and broken systems. You treated Zegras like a franchise savior until you shipped him out and gaslit everyone into thinking he was the problem. Your rebuild has talent, but no direction, no identity, no wins. You fired your coach, rebranded your jerseys, and still can't break 70 points. Your highlight of the year? Maybe a lacrosse goal and a 6-2 loss. The pond is empty. The vibes are worse. And the only thing consistent is your placement in the draft lottery. Ducks fans, loyal, patient, and slowly realizing that the glory days are long gone, and the rebuild might not even be real. Sharks fans used to expect playoff runs. Now you're just hoping the team scores a goal before the second intermission. You clung to your core way too long, and now you've got a graveyard of cap hits and a roster built entirely from AHL call-ups and bad decisions. You flex Carlson's point totals, then dump him for a bag of expired peanuts and a conditional third. You act like the tank still means something. It does. It means tanking for another top 5 pick. Your rebuild isn't a plan. It's a survival strategy. You once had Thornton, Marleau, Pavelski. Now your best player is hope. You're not just rebuilding, you're rotting. And every game feels like a flashback to what used to be. Sharks fans, loyal to the end, which might have already happened. The team just hasn't gotten the memo. Kraken fans spent one decent playoff run acting like hockey prophets. You beat Colorado once and suddenly thought you were ordained by the hockey gods. You have no history, no rivals, and no real suffering. But you talk like you've survived Game 7 triple overtime heartbreak on a broken TV in 1994. You treat average depth players like cult heroes. You made Tanev a personality trait. You think team defense is edgy. Your arena looks like a Whole Foods. Your branding is elite. Your goal song slaps. Too bad the team scores once every other Tuesday. You're already impatient, already making trade suggestions, already tweeting like a franchise that's been wronged. Relax, you're still in the tutorial. Kraken fans, fun, loud, and slightly delusional. But hey, every hockey fan base starts somewhere. Yours just started with a fog machine and a reality check. And there you have it. Every NHL fan base roasted and charred to a crisp. Some of you are cursed. Some of you are clueless. Most of you are just chronically online with playoff trauma and a jersey collection that smells like broken dreams. But here's the thing. You need the chaos. You crave the heartbreak. Because if hockey fans weren't stubborn, emotionally unstable, and slightly unhinged, you wouldn't be hockey fans. You say this is our year, every October like it's a ritual. By April, you're screaming at refs, firing coaches from your couch, and blaming a 19-year-old fourth liner for your franchise's failure. And yet, you come back every damn year. Because in this sport, loyalty isn't logical, it's psychotic. And that's what makes it beautiful. Now go scream into a pillow, start an argument on Twitter, and I'll see you next season. Same hope, same heartbreak, new excuses.